truth, and life. Here is the Brother Leon Show. You better recognize.
What's going on, listeners? What's going on? Let's go on in this piece. The one thing that I want you guys to understand and know today is a day about love. Today is a day about possibilities, so I want to welcome you to the Brother Leon Show. I want to welcome you to a place of faith. I want to welcome you to a place of possibility. I want to welcome you to a place of exploration. Because today we are going to talk about the possibility of love. What is the one thing that is disconnecting us as men and women, and especially black men and women in the community? I want you guys to understand and know that love is possible, that successful relationships with sustainability and resiliency is possible. Because the voices that you hear today are voices that will try to tell you that it's not possible, that marriage can't work, that relationships can't work. But I am here to tell you otherwise. And the reason why I am telling you otherwise is because the one thing that I want you to understand and know is that there is an attack against the family. The attack is coming through lies, labels, and false narratives. Because you have to ask yourself, as we as a people are going to continue on, we got to connect. We got to love. And so today, I have the pleasure. This is probably the baddest woman that I know who can bring inspiration into your life. And her name is Khadijah Tou Tou. She's going to be coming on this stage, and we're going to go back and forth. I'm serious. The goal is to leave no stone unturned, and we're going to do this in a two-part series. Today, we're going to do part one. Tomorrow, we're going to do part two. Because as a man, I want to know, what is it that black women want from us? And she is a black woman. I want to know, what is it that you want from us as black men? Because I hear the cry of, we're not protected. I hear the cry of, black men don't want to marry us. I hear the cry of, black men only want white women. I hear the cry of, black men only want light-skinned women. And so we're going to deal with this whole thing about colorism as well. Because I believe that we've been told a lie. The lie about the only good black man is a black man that makes six figures. And the crazy thing about it is that every man in the black community is not making six figures. So it's almost like you're not a high value man unless you're making six figures. And certain women don't want to talk to you unless you're making six figures. And so we're going to go into this whole thing about hypergamy. We're going to go into this whole thing about misandry. We're going to go into this whole thing about misogyny. We're going to go into it all. But I want you guys to understand and know that regardless of what's out here, possibility is for you. And you got to make sure that you want it. And you got to make sure in your mind that you're willing to work for it. Because nothing changes without metamorphosis. And if you want that thing to be strong, that thing has to be deep and it has to be wide in order for it to stand and go against the storms of life. Because life is prophetic and life is seasonal. I want you guys to hold tight. Miss Khadijah's coming up.
Hello?
Hey, what's going on, Miss Khadijah? Let me give you some applause, baby. I was just telling the listeners that you are probably the baddest, the most inspirational woman that I know.
Wow, that's big.
I'm
That's
serious.
really big.
Nah, seriously, because just listening to you, talking to you, I'm like, man, if you was a brother that ain't hardly, you was like on the wall with your dreams, she the type of woman that'll come into your life and you will have that stuff achieved in the next year and a half.
Hell yeah.
Seriously, because the thing that I see with you is that you have the gift of manifestation. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I appreciate that.
And so I believe that could be an asset to a man who is a visionary. Because you can encourage him, you can influence him to go that extra mile when the world is banging on him hard and he wants to give up. So that's how I see you.
I appreciate you. Have to have me over here crying before we even start. You haven't even asked the question yet, and I'm over here like, maybe I need to go in my room where I can cry.
No, it's all good. It's all good because, like I was telling the listeners today, I was like, man, I was just thinking like, and it's crazy because God be giving me stuff in the bathroom. And I want to call these episodes that we're going to do Love Possibilities.
I love that. Love Possibilities. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Because, it's a whole lot of narratives out here. People have, gotten exhausted thinking that, will I ever find true love? It's women out here who have given up on men. It's men who have given up on women. Because the crazy thing about it is that we feel as though that sometimes when you have failure and then you have frustration, it's almost like it's not even worth it anymore.
Absolutely.
So
and that's normal to feel.
Yeah. So today I just want to talk to you from one black man to a black woman. And my question is, I just want to know what black women want.
Wow,
seriously.
That's a big question.
Yeah, I'm serious. I'm gonna ask every. I'm gonna unturn every stone.
Well, let's do it. Let's make it happen.
All right, let me give you some applause. But I gotta start. Who are you?
Who am I? I am a god. I am one who worships God. I am here. I'm present. That's who I am.
I love that. I'm serious. I love that. So can you tell the people the type of work that you do?
All right. So I am a mindset coach, but I would like to see myself as more than that. I'm actually a teacher, and I educate people, and I teach people the science of their mind in order to get whatever it is that they want. It's the philosophy of future you. It's our philosophy that, life is a video game, and it's all about how you play it, and it's all about becoming the greatest version of yourself in order to make your dreams turn into a reality.
I like that. I definitely like that. Life is like a video game. So you're going to inform us on how to get that cheat code to get extra ammo, extra lives, extra healing potions, all that stuff.
It's all infinite.
Yes. I ain't gonna lie. I love playing games with infinite bullets.
Well, we definitely have some good programs coming up, so I'll definitely let you know when those are launching now. But that's what's been taking up all my time these days. Is just like, come on, just investing, and putting that forward.
Okay, all right. Hey, I look forward to seeing the work that's going to come from you. Because it's going to be a good work. It's going to be a great work. So I look forward to seeing, your labor and seeing it manifest and the fruit from it.
Oh, it definitely has to manifest. And I will say this is that I've had the honor and the pleasure to work with a Black man on it. So it's myself and an amazing Black man who's a visionary and who just has this beautiful vision, and we're just basically putting things together and executing. So it's something that I don't think has been, at least to our knowledge, done with a Black man and a Black woman, and having, equal, airtime and equal, guidance and direction. So it just feels great to support and to help a Black man, because I know that it is my duty as a Black woman to be the helper that our brothers need.
Yeah, exactly. I gotta give you some applause on that one. So I'm getting ready to dive in here.
All right, let's jump.
So let me ask you this. What is your definition of love? I'm asking this from a Black man's perspective. What is your definition of love?
Yeah, so my definition of love is being and allowing, correcting, respecting, and honoring, and discipline.
Okay, I like that. Why did you say discipline, if I may interject right there? Why did you say discipline?
Yeah, so I say discipline because it takes a level of training oneself to be able to wear that armor of protection. Love is always going to be attacked, if that makes sense. There's always opposition. There's always opposition in everything. Everything has an opposite, equal and opposite, effect or thing. So where you have darkness, you have light. Where you have left, you always have a right. Where you have up, you always have a down. So I say discipline because it's about how do you maintain that up? How do you maintain that right? How do you maintain? It's all about maintaining. It's okay to get out of line, but how do you maintain and stay in balance? And if you're not in balance, know that it's okay, but also know the tools, the strategies, and the techniques to get yourself back in alignment. And be able to do it no matter what. It's a commitment, and it's a level of saying, no matter what, I am going to get back to this balance. And I think because society these days are so quick, everything is right at the fingertips, right at the fingertips, right at the fingertips. We see it with the metaverse, we see it with social media, we see it with all these things. There's no problem with it, but there's a level of commitment that's lacking at times. And so when we're able to commit ourselves, we're able to know, where is that point? What are we setting our thermometer to? Are we being a thermostat or are we being a thermometer? And even with us having a thermometer, it's our job to sustain that, maintain our thermometer. It's not to change someone else's thermometer, but to maintain our own. And if someone else desires to change, we invite them into our house and we say, this is what my house looks like. And when they see it, they're like, oh my gosh, I want this, I want this, I want this. And it's kind of, at least I see myself, my job as a mindset coach, as well as my partners, it's our job to get you to set your temperature to whatever it is that you want it to be. And whenever you want to change it, you know how to do that too.
Yeah, exactly. Because as you were saying that, I think the one thing that came to my mind was that scripture, 1 Corinthians, if I'm not mistaken, 13, love bears all things, hopes all things, believeth all things. And so, when you're talking about being a covering and you're talking about being disciplined, I do believe that there is a discipline that is needed in love. The discipline to know, have discernment when it comes to seasons, because people change.
Absolutely.
You know, and people also go through relationship seasons.
Absolutely.
You know, because everybody loves the relationship when it's brand new.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It's great when it's brand new.
Yeah.
It's real good when it's brand new, when those butterflies are going. You can stand to look at them every time, all day, all the time. And then one day it'll just, like the snap of a finger, it'll change. And you're like, oh, I'm tired.
Yeah.
I don't want to look at this person. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. But
Yeah.
I think that's why, like you said before, that visionary, you know, having that visionary, having that leader, like I love being led. So having that vision, having that goal, having that big aspiration, that dream, that goal that we're both working towards,
Yeah.
it becomes more of a team effort versus something where it's like a dictatorship. It becomes, like, how do we get there? How do we get there? We're both holding the dream. We're both holding the vision. We're both holding it. And how do we hold each other responsible for, and how do we hold each other responsible to? Exactly. And knowing that difference.
I like that. Let me give you some applause. Because the one thing that I've seen is I see the talk of kings and queens.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people do not know that kings and queens represent vision. They represent a kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also the burden that comes with the mantle of kingship as well as queenship.
Absolutely.
So, like you said, there is definitely a discipline, because kings are not going to act like queens and queens are not going to act like kings.
At least they shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I believe that there is an order, there is a structure. And you were just saying that you like to add to a man's life, but you like to be led.
Yeah.
So I gotta mess with you. Because some women will say, well, she being a pick me, she being a mammy. What do you think about when women say those type of things?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry. When they say what?
Some women may think that you are being a pick me or a mammy. It's that new urban term where, and it's crazy because I never thought in this day and age that women would come at each other's throats with these derogatory terms.
Yeah, so those are usually hurt women that use those terms. Those are usually women who have not yet found themselves. Those are usually women who are still trying to find themselves. Those are usually women who are seeing the service that's done as a weakness and not a strength. And it's okay, because I can say this because I've been that woman. And because I've been that woman, I have to have empathy for her. And I'm not trying to say, okay, I've awakened to this beautiful kingdom to serve my, man. I've become I went from a modern woman to a traditional one, and so there was a major switch, and there was a switch in mindset. There was a switch in intention. There was a switch in all of those things, and it's actually beautiful to play the role, being in the divine role that I was assigned to as a woman. It feels so freeing. It feels less stressful. Yes, it is still a lot of pressure. Don't get it twisted, because our kings, especially, when they have these big visions of themselves and for ourselves, I realize as a woman, the more I can educate myself, the more that I can, make myself more resourceful, the more that I can have more references for us and gather all of that. Because he's the hunter, I'm the gatherer. So I need to gather all of these things, put all these things, and cook it in the kitchen. I like to see when I'm doing research and doing all these things, is like I'm cooking in the kitchen, and then I have an outcome. And so here's my thing: you're working for a man regardless. So why not work for your man? If you going to work every day, who's the CEO of the company you work for? More than likely a man. And because of that, you're working for him. So why not work for your man?
I like that. Let me give you some applause. Because you just smashed that sacred cow of pick me and mammy. Because I like how you said you transitioned from being a modern woman to a traditional woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave the analogy, and I asked men, what type of queen do you want in your house? Do you want a Queen Esther, or do you want a Queen Jezebel?
Mm.
And brothers was like, hey man, no, I don't want no Queen Jezebel. I want Queen Esther.
Mm.
You know, because I think a lot of times you have to have a person in your life that values life, who's going to be a savior, who's going to be a deliverer for the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the one thing about kingdom, is that you have to look generationally, what's coming after me. Can I make this relationship? Can I make this marriage? Can I make this love something that my kids can build off of?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's why I think that the work that you're doing, and even with this interview, that is so important, because we have queens who will birth princesses who will become queens in another man's kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And they represent us.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of times we have to begin to look at the honor aspect as well, the integrity aspect as well.
Absolutely.
You know, so I love everything that you're saying right about now. So let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing that breaks a lot of people up is communication, sex, money, and kids.
Mm.
How is it from a black man asking a black woman, how can I hear you? What are you communicating to me? You know, what are you saying to me in regards of love and relationships? How can I hear the echoes of, how can I hear your heart? How can I get in tune with your spirit? So can you answer that? You know, try to help me out a little bit.
Yeah. So I think innately men and women are different. We're biologically different. We're mentally different. We feel things differently. There's no debate about that. I don't care where you're from, what you believe in, any of that. We're different, and that's that. And because we're different, we speak two different languages. And a lot of the times, you know, when I'm with my girlfriends, we speak in a totally different language and different subjects than when I'm with my male friends. Like my female friends versus my male friends conversations have the exact same conversation, but in a different way. I think the thing that, you know, men really have to grasp is that women are more emotional beings. And the thing that women have to grasp about men is that men are more intellectual beings. And because they're more intellectual, women have to navigate through listening to facts. And men, when they're listening to the woman, they have to navigate through, what is she feeling right now? And how can I speak to her also through her feelings and through her thoughts? Because I think a lot of the times when a man says something, you know, he means it, you know, his processing of emotions is different than the processing of emotions for a woman. So he'll say things matter of factly, right? And then be like, you know, I remember a man telling me, you know, Khadijah, when you act like this, you know, you're in the Jezebel spirit, right? And it's like, dang, brother, that hurt my feelings, right? But for him, it wasn't necessarily anything to be insulting. It was something that he saw as a fact. Like, these are the characteristics of a Jezebel, and you checking off this part, and this part, right? And it's very direct. Now, could it have been stated different? Absolutely. So I think a lot of the time men have to work on their delivery, because sometimes it violates our boundaries, if we have any. And sometimes a woman won't say when you hurt her feelings, because a lot of the time maybe she doesn't want to speak up and say it, or maybe she doesn't want to feel like she's rocking the boat a bit, or she might completely go into her masculine and cuss you out. So it depends on, you know, that particular woman. But I think, especially along my journey, I can only speak for my journey, is like when I first started listening and hearing a man, it was through being able to understand him and truly listening, not listening to how I felt about what he was saying, but what is the essence of what he's saying. And a lot of us, you know, women have egos, and we're constantly trying to protect that ego. But we have to cast down the ego because it's not helping us. And we think, oh, let me be this boss chick. Let me be this boss. But really, like, you're supposed to be a boss over your work, over handling yourself. Not a boss over him, not a boss over anything else. Like, for example, even for the people who work directly under me, it's all women. And that's with a lot of intention because for me, I love to see men as leads. I love to see them in different positions of leadership. And not to say I wouldn't have a man on the team, that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that, for me, the cultivation of women is important. And I think that because we don't have a lot of examples on TV of what being a powerful, submissive woman looks like. Because if women actually knew, especially a modern woman, actually knew, you have a lot more power in being a submissive traditional woman than you actually do being a modern woman.
I like that. But I ain't gonna lie. It'll be a whole lot of women will fight you on that one. Seriously.
Oh, they can. They can, because I would fight me on this one. Sometimes when I speak, my mother always tells me, she's like, "Not you saying this. Not you saying that. I can't believe this is your, the way you think now, the way you talk now, because, grab me at 23, grab me at 25 even. I would have argued and disliked me and be talking about me like she needs to get a grip on herself. I can't believe she would think X, Y, and Z, but it's because you haven't had the privilege, the opportunity to have a beautiful man who is a leader of you and God-fearing to lead you into that position because you haven't seen it. And that's okay. That's not your fault.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Let me give you some applause. And I like the fact that you were talking about men's delivery. So brothers, we definitely have to work on our delivery, because the one thing that I will say that women are receptive. And I look at it like this. The delivery can either she gonna close up shop or she gonna open up shop. Mm-hmm. And so the delivery definitely is important. It's a priority, because it's almost as if you come with the wrong delivery, you're not going to get the right type of outcome.
Absolutely. And I think I want to just add on to that of like, us women also have to be more accountable and more responsible as well. We have to sit with ourselves and be honest with ourselves. Like, am I, one question I even had to ask myself was, am I as healthy as I can be to be as physically appealing to the eye to both myself and my potential partner? And that was something, it's like, okay, I got the fit down. I got the feminine down. Okay, I got the friendly down. Okay, or I'm sorry, I have the fit friendly. I have all those things down. Now I need to work on the fitness aspect. And that's okay. That just means, little shawty got to take some time, about 6 months, to condition herself to be in a habit of eating well and exercising. And that takes time to sit with oneself. Because guess what? When I have kids, guess what's going to happen? There's going to be weight gain. When there's weight gain, there's more risk of, heart attacks and all these different things come with it, right? And it's like, it's not about the look, it's about the health. Am I as well as I can be? Am I as healthy as I can be? And sometimes we have to have those conversations. I was having a conversation with a brother, and I was telling him, I was like, it's so interesting, because the only thing, I was like, I can get rid of my weight easier than a woman who has a bad attitude can get rid of her bad attitude. It'll take her years to get rid of that bad attitude and that chip off her shoulder. It'll only take me 6 months to a year to get rid of this weight. So it is, both of them are a matter of discipline, but playing a mental sport, an elite mental sport, is a lot different than playing an elite physical sport. And not to compare the difference, because you need your body and your mind for both, but playing that mental sport, you, like Kanye said in an interview, when basketball players get out of a game, they have their physical therapists there. They have the people there around them with the ice packs and with all that stuff. But when you're finished doing a mental sport, who's coming near you to help guard your mind, to refuel you with stuff, and I think that's where, mental health and therapy, counseling comes in.
Exactly. I like that. I'm serious. I like that. And I also was, as you were speaking, I was also seeing that if you have a person in your life that's willing to help you in that area where you may be weak in, and that's what I'm going back to when I said love bears all things.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you have a person that says, hey, I'm strong here, I can help you in that pursuit.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes all the difference. It's like, wow, you're willing to do that for me, and it's almost like, yeah, because I love you.
Yeah, and you have to love the person. You have to love doing what you do for them.
Yeah,
and I think that's why it's so important for both men and women to be in purpose before they actually engage and meet one another. Like, I have a lot of brothers ask me, "Oh my gosh, Khadijah, like, you're so amazing. Why are you still single? Why are you still like this and that?" It's because I know what kind of help I am, one. And so when I ask a man, what's your purpose? What are your dreams, goals, and aspirations? When he answers it, I'll immediately know if he's for me or not. I had a brother. We were getting to know each other, and he was looking towards courting me and all these things. And I asked him, I was like, what are your dreams, goals, and aspirations? And he said, I want to do this, I want to do that. And I was like, we won't be together. And I knew immediately. And I was like, we might as well not waste our time. So let's continue to be friends. And we're still friends. And it was just like, we can't be. Because what you want for yourself, I'm not willing to build that kingdom that you're looking for. But I know you'll find the woman who will help you.
Yeah.
The kingdom that I know that I'm meant to build looks a particular way. And so because of that, you know what it looks like when it comes. So it's like, is this the king that you want to serve? And it's like, okay, let me look at the job description. Let me look at the help. Let me see, when men ask women, and a lot of the times this gets confused by a lot of women. Women get offended for some reason when a man asks, what do you bring to the table? What he's essentially asking is, what are your skills, gifts, talents, and abilities that you can help me to build my kingdom? That's what he's really asking. And a lot of women don't know that, because when they hear, what do you bring to the table, they immediately get offended. And it's like, what do you mean, what do I bring to the table? And it's like, no, that's not what he's asking. But once again, that's literally a prime example, Exhibit A, of me translating between what a man just said, what do you bring to the table, and me translating into women's language of what he's really asking is, what are skills, abilities, and talents and gifts that you bring to the table in order to make his kingdom come into fruition?
I'm glad you said that. I'm serious, because I have actually heard some women say, I am the table.
Yeah, I think that's ignorant.
And I'm thinking that either they don't know what the table is, or they're actually saying, you're not going to gain anything from this relationship. It's going to be all about me.
I don't know what it means in relationship to what they think it means, but it goes back to say, the reason I said it's ignorant, I don't mean it in a rude way. I say it's ignorant because if they don't know what the man is asking for, then you don't know. Like, it's like saying, I am the ability, the talent, and the skill. What are you asking me this for? And it's like, girl, humble yourself. To me, that just shows alpha female, dominant behavior. And that's not what a alpha male is looking for. That's not what that king is looking for. And one has to humble themselves. And it's tough going from an alpha woman. Like I was, like I said, a modern woman. I was very alpha. I was very, you don't tell me what to do, kind of thing. And then the flip switched, it just switched, because I realized, if I want to pursue the goals that I want to, and helping, families and people and whatever get better, it has to begin with me too. So as I started, evaluating myself, that's when I started changing. That's when I started evolving. That's when I started seeing things. And it's like, you got to know the game to play it. And if you don't even know the game to be able to say, this is what I do, because he's also looking too, right? He's looking at a certain woman. Some men just want a trophy.
Yeah.
right? So it doesn't matter what she brings to the table. He's built his kingdom by himself. He already has what he wants. He just wants something pretty to look at and to, make babies with, and if that woman fits that criteria, that's all he's looking for. I'm not going to say he's going to be happy, but he is going to have that's what he wants. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it's knowing that too. Some men, they want a woman who is going to help build their entire dream. And that queen is going to be busy the rest of her life. Exactly. Build the dream, build the vision. You know what I mean? He wants a partner. And it's almost as if it's a business partner in a way as well. But he wants a partner. But there are queens like me where I'm like, I want my husband to be my business partner because I'm building this kingdom with him. There's no way that I'm not building this kingdom with him. Yeah. And I tell, I like to say this is like, my husband, when he appears or reveals himself, let's say not appears or reveals himself, is that, that's what I'm building. There will be no other, clientele unless it has to do with the business, with the family business that's being built. Because I know my purpose. I'm building an empire. I'm building a legacy. Not all queens are equipped to do that. It doesn't mean that they're less of a queen, but it just means how are you using your skill, abilities, and talent to serve your king, to serve your empire. Not everybody's meant to be a chief.
Wow. Could you say that again one more time?
What? Not everybody's meant to be a chief?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not everybody's meant to be a chief.
So how do you say that? Because I've had discussions with women and I've said, not every man, might not be equipped to have a kingdom or to run a kingdom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and not every and that's okay. But it's still the kingdom regardless. It's still his kingdom. Yeah. How he wants it to function. It's all about having vision, right? And so if a man, to me, I think the biggest red flag is a man who doesn't have a vision. Okay. When I've been on, Brother Liam, I've been on a lot of dates where, or even the getting to know you phase, right? Where I ask men, what is your dream? What is your goal? What is your purpose? What is it that you want to do? And they don't have an answer.
Wow.
As a woman of purpose, and I know my vision of what I want my life to look like, our ideas have to marry each other. I already know what my vision is. So when you ask me, what do you bring to the table? I already know what I bring to the table. I know what I bring to the table. I can make any man's dreams turn into the reality that he wishes. That's why I know I can have whatever man on this planet that I want.
Lord have mercy.
And it's not because he's going to want to pursue me. Because he wants his dream to come true. He wants that queen next to him. He wants that supportive person that's next to him that's going to push him and tell him that no matter what the outside results look like, we don't worry about that. We stick to the vision. We stick to the vision. We stick to the vision. We stick to the vision.
Yes.
And I'm going to empower him. And I'm going to build that kingdom. And I'm going to do all that. Not every queen can do that. She has potential to do that. But is she willing to do that? Because it's a lot of work to do that. Yeah. It's a lot of work to do that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of mental fortitude to be able to do that and strength to do that. To hold down a strong man, that's a lot because when he comes home attacked from the world, you have to be the one to be able to rub his head and comfort him.
Exactly.
You have to be able to understand what he's going through and go through it with him at times, but you have to be a temple for him and make him feel comfortable to even open up. That's why you get a lot of men who just come home and play video games.
Wow.
Because they don't want to open up. They can't open up. So what do they got to do? They got to find an escape. Yeah. And they can't talk to you about it because all you want to do is nag all day. And if you nag all day, or you're not talking about his dreams, goals, and aspirations, you're not bringing him back to his vision. You're not bringing him back to, what it is that he wants to do. I'm over here giving game.
Oh, yes. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you.
Somebody's going to have to pay for this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I'm sending my offering. I'm serious.
No.
Just the video game thing alone. just that right there, because there are so many women who come home and they mad because they see this man like, yo, why is it as soon as he walk in the house, he take a shower and he on that game. He on that game for 3-4 hours.
Mm-hmm. He's tired.
Yeah.
He's tired. And the thing is like, maybe he doesn't feel comfortable talking about it with you, you know, and it's our job to figure out, you know, how for him to know, hey, you can talk to me about these things, you know, and I understand it. And that's why I think it's important to have a vision, and this set and the goal set, in a relationship, because when you goal set and you both have the mutual goal, right? Like whether even if it's a house, babe, in a year, we're going to get this house. Okay. What kind of plan do we need to make? You know, we've never gotten a house before. What kind of plan do we need to make? How do we do our finances? How do we do this? How do we do that? How do we break this down? What kind of spreadsheets do we need to keep weekly? Okay, what are your roles and what are my roles? What are your roles and responsibilities? Because running a house is a business.
Yeah, it is.
You know, and if you got 2-3 kids running around, okay, babe, what if I stay home with the kids, you work? Or what if you stay home with the kids and I work during the day, then we switch roles, then I stay home with the kids and then you work at night, because I don't want these kids going to daycare.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Or the kids go to daycare, we both work, we both do this and that, and then on the weekends, when we're together, we make those 48 hours and this is how we execute it. You know, so there's different ways, different plans, but are you planning the vision together? And I think that's important. I can only say this because of my role in my company and working with the men that I do. I talk to these men who, you know, make 6 figures or more all the time. And, you know, I ask them, what are the things that they're looking for? What are the qualities that they look for in a man? I mean, I'm sorry, not in a man, in a woman, you know, and they say, you know, they want someone who's supportive of their dreams, their goals, their aspirations. But I think another thing is men like to be seen, as do women. You know, we have the same desires. It's a human need to feel seen. Do you see me? Can you see me? You know, and a man will, you know, love you for the rest of your life or his life if you can just see him.
Wow, that is, you hitting the nail on the head. You hit the nail on the head. I'm serious. You hit it with that one, because it's almost like I want you to see me, not what I do, not what I bring home, not all the material stuff, but do you see me? I've never heard a woman say that, because it's always been, what I've heard is does he see me? Does he acknowledge me? But when it comes to the man, you don't hear that.
Yeah. Women have become insensitive. I'm not going to say all women. I'm going to say a lot of women have become insensitive and become really selfish, to the degree of my emotions are all that matter, but his emotions don't. And it's not fair. Both emotions matter. You know, both emotions matter. Because men go through their things too, you know. They go through their own battles. And the thing with men is a lot of men aren't necessarily discussing the emotions. They're not discussing, you know, they're not saying no. They're not saying, I don't feel like fixing the sink today, and I'm not going to. Or, you know what, I'm hiring somebody to do this. Yes, I can do it, but I'm not doing it. I'm hiring somebody to do this because I don't feel like it.
Yeah.
You know, and having as that partner, being able to say, babe, you don't have to fix it. That's what they have plumbers for. That's why they have. So, look, your time, me spending time with you is worth way more. While that plumber is there, we could be watching a movie together, eating popcorn on the couch while he's there.
Exactly.
You don't have to do it. My time with you is more valuable than you fixing this sink. I want to spend my time with you.
I like that. I want to ask you this question, because I've seen some women, I can't say all, they struggle in the area of patience when the man is in a metamorphosis stage. So how is it that we can continue to cultivate love when one person is like, yo, I don't know if I got the patience while he's going through this whole phase. So how is it we can cultivate love when we're in the in-between?
Yeah, we have to. This is where this person isn't my other half. This person is a whole person, and they are responsible for themselves. So remember, in the beginning of the conversation, we talked about being responsible to and being responsible for, and I want to be more specific in what that means, and I don't want anyone to have any assumptions of what that means. So being responsible for something, or for the only thing that I'm responsible for is children and myself. I'm only responsible for myself. I'm responsible for my feelings. I'm responsible for how I how I see myself. I'm responsible for what I do, how I take action. I'm responsible for my self-respect. I'm responsible for the results that I get. I'm responsible for my own self-reliance, right? Now, what I am responsible to is holding him accountable. I'm responsible to telling him the truth. I'm responsible to empowering him. I'm responsible to helping him provide the help he needs to do so he can do it himself. That's what I'm responsible to. I'm responsible for myself. So I have to be unselfish enough to understand that though we walk this path together, there are going to be certain parts on the path where he has to explore that by himself, and I have to explore certain parts of the path myself. Now, he can be responsible to me and empower me during my time of getting certain stuff together, right? Let's give a real time example. For example, I need to drop 20 pounds, right? Now, he can't get on that elliptical machine for me. He can't lift those weights for me, but he can hold me accountable. Like, hey, babe, hey, wake up. It's 7 o'clock. You said you were going to exercise every day at 7 o'clock. Now, if I wake up and do it, that's on me. If I wake up and don't do it, that's on me. But I'm responsible for the result. Right?
Yeah.
Now, him being a great partner, he's responsible to me to be empowering. Oh, babe, I don't feel like getting up and going out. Babe, remember, you said you're going to be in the best shape of your life this year. You said that this year you're going to be doing this and that. Remember, look at this picture that we made together. Look at the vision boards that we made. Look. Okay, babe. Okay. I'm going to get up. Thank you so much for reminding me. He's responsible to me.
Yeah.
But if I choose to do that or not, that's on me. So it's just understanding that everyone has their own journey. And that's not easy. Because sometimes that means you might not talk to the person that you love for 2 days or 3 days.
Yeah.
But it's understanding that's how they have to process in order for them to get through what they need to get through.
Yeah.
They might be on the verge of burnout. Maybe they don't want to be husband that weekend. I'm not saying give no free passes out to each his own, but I'm saying maybe he's tired of playing house. Okay, go visit your friends in California or whatever, and I'll see you when you come back. And it's just recognizing that this is still a human being. This is still a person. This is my partner. And I want them to be well, because if they're not well, I'm well, regardless of if they're well or not, but this is my partner. And so it's stagnating our course together where we could be excelling, going through things together. It's not about stopping. It's about just, maybe pausing.
Yeah.
My partner often says, rest if you must, but don't quit.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'll be doing projects. I'm like, I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. This is tedious. He's like, I know it's tedious, but rest if you must. Think about the end goal. Think about this and that. And that's something I'm like, I don't want to do that. It's like, no, being responsible too. Come on, you got this. You can do this. Don't think about everything. Just focus on this one thing. That's him being responsible to me. And me being responsible for me is, okay, I know that where is this feeling of me not resisting coming from? I'm responsible for that resistance that I feel. But what is it doing? It's stagnating our results. Yeah. So I have to allow him to hold me accountable. But a lot of the times what you see in these relationships or whatever it is that certain people don't want to be held accountable. And we have to be. We can't put the blame on them, or we can't say that they need to be held accountable unless we are. Are you willing to also put yourself at the stake? That you willing to burn him at the stake, but are you willing to burn yourself at the stake because you had every much to do with the results that were had as he does?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I like that. That is definitely sobering. That is definitely sobering. I'm serious. This is definitely going to be priceless. I ain't going to lie. I feel like, y'all might have to pay $129 for this one. I'm serious. So I want to go in here, and I might be messing. I want to talk about intimacy and sex.
Okay.
Because the crazy thing when it comes to us as sexual beings, as men and women, I think a lot of times we have to begin to change the terminology when it comes to our sex, because we got the terminology, smash, break your back. And I'm like, when you really start, I know what it means, but when you start looking at it, it's like, is sex about destruction now? You know what I mean? Is that the goal? Because I've never looked at it like that until now. Even when it came to, the false narrative of pornography, and pornography feeds that narrative. Because it's almost like, the goal is destroy, search and destroy. And I'm like, how did we get here with that? So my question is, how is it that black women, what is the type of intimacy that black women want? What is the type of sex that black women want when it comes to, having a relationship versus just a one night stand?
I can't speak for all women, but what I will say is, I can't speak for all black women, but what I will say for me being a black woman and having, beautiful experiences, is that I believe beyond the surface of everything, women just want to be cherished, and they want to be cared for. They want to be nurtured. But they want to be like daddy's little girl. They want to feel like, the favorite. They want the attention on them. And some women may say differently, and that's okay. But I'm just here to share, the experiences that I've seen and just conversations that I've had with my friends. I was like, we want that caring. We want that. We want to know that we're the only one. We want to know that you adore me. Well, I want to know that I'm doing a good job. I want those words of affirmation. Like, and with a lot of women, black women in particular, in this age, not having the father in the home and not having that household, it is a bit of challenge, and it was by design that we are this way, and that's why I do say I have so much empathy. A lot of women could fight me and could argue with me on a lot of the things I'm saying, but I'm only able to call those things out because I was once that woman. So it's really almost like me calling my old self out in what I'm saying. But it's really, we want to be cherished. We want to be heard. We want to be, I think that's the biggest intimacy, I think, for women is being heard. And like for a man too, in terms of sexual things, it is that exchange, like that exchange. And we've gotten like that to the point where it's just, I'm a savage and I'm this, I'm that, and I'm just trying to, lay it down real quick, or, I'm about to go catch a body, like who talks about their women like that? Who talks about their queen like that?
Yeah.
Like you like something you respect. You're about to go catch a body? Yeah, are you serious? Yeah. That's not a woman to you. That's a body.
Yeah.
You literally labeled it.
Yeah.
You literally labeled it as a body, not as a person, not as a vessel of God, not as any of that. A body.
Yeah.
You know, and so we have to begin to question our own psychology of the type of words that we're using. But granted, some people are out there just to get something quick. You know what I mean? And it's up to the woman to decide, am I going to give my body to this man?
Yeah, exactly.
And we have to recognize the kind of control. A man has control over whether or not it's going to be a relationship. The woman has control, or is it going to be marriage, right? The woman has control over her body. Are you getting entry into this place? Are you getting entry into this temple? Are you inserting yourself in me so we can procreate or not?
Yeah.
That's when she decides, when she opens the legs, he decides to open the kingdom, the keys to the kingdom, if that makes sense, the visions, and all that stuff. But can she hear it? So it's like, I think the biggest intimacy, I think, is that kind of communication, of that we just want to be cherished. Some women want to be respected. That's important for them. Every woman wants something different, but I think that to be respected is more operating in the masculine energy, because it comes with the rules, the regulations, the responsibility, right? I think that's a very manly leadership, type thing. Not to say you can't discuss it together, but ultimately a man who's led is being led by God, right? And so when you see a man that's being led by God, of course I'm submitting to him. I would love to submit to this man of God, because I know that I'm really submitting to God through him.
Yeah. I like that because you definitely bring out that point, because I've said this myself, that women, when it comes to sex, it's like y'all got the car. You got the car, you got the gas, you got the car keys, the GPS. We just coming for the ride.
Literally.
Yeah, seriously, we coming for the ride. And depending on what we say during the journey, you might be like, no, he just didn't say that. Oh, you getting out at this stop right here.
Mm-hmm.
So I get that. And even the whole thing with marriage or relationship, men do control the relationship dynamic and women the sexual dynamic. And so there's definitely an accountability and responsibility for both parties. Because, I think the thing that I'm starting to see is that nobody wants to be responsible for the part that they bring.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to be accountable for the part that they play in this whole scenario.
Absolutely. Including their brokenness.
Yeah.
Including their brokenness. And, my partner and I, we believe in counseling, and so like he has his own counselor, I have my own counselor, and it keeps our minds healthy. It keeps our minds healthy, and it keeps our minds clear, in separation from us. Of course, like there's venting that happens and all these different things, but it's also that dynamic of like, I have my own mental health professional, because like I said, we play a mental sport. So yeah, weekly, I need somebody to talk to navigate through with the outside of this person, because I'm working with me. It's me versus me and you versus you. But if you fighting with the part of me that I'm fighting with, you know what I mean? Then that's the problem. I need you to, we have to know each other. You have to know yourself in order to communicate with me about what I need to know about you.
Yeah.
But if you haven't gone on a road or on the path of exploring self, of examining self, of looking in the mirror, then that's not fair to your partner, because there's something that a counselor would easily call you out on, and your partner is calling you out on it. But when your counselor says it, you're not so offended. But when your partner says it, you are. No. Your partner is holding you responsible to what it is that you said that you want. This is not in alignment. You said you want a healing. But that's not what it looks like. That's not what it looks like. And that's okay. It's not saying that you're wrong. It's just saying, and even if it is saying that you're wrong, that's okay too, because guess what? You're correcting my navigation. Ooh, let me reroute. I got off the path. Let me reroute back on the path, back to the destination. Because we're in this thing together. We're in this life together.
Yeah, exactly. We're definitely in this together. I like that. I like that. Because I believe that a lot of times couples, when they get together, and it's just taking me back to the scripture. It says, one man planteth, one man watereth, but God is the one that gets the increase. And so I think a lot of times we stop cultivating once the seed is planted in the ground. And I believe that even when you are in the relationship and it's growing, you done planted the seed and you start to see the growth come out of the ground, you still have to continue to cultivate that thing. Because if you want the relationship to grow vertical, that means that it has to grow vertical and even horizontal underneath the soil. So that it can withstand, the storms of life. So as high as you wanted that thing to be, it has to be that deep and that wide in order for it to stand.
Absolutely.
And so, I thoroughly believe that relationships are prophetic, but they're also seasonal because we go through seasons in life. I think a lot of times people don't know when we're going through a winter season, and sometimes the winter season means that we're going through a dark season. And sometimes people give up on other people because they didn't discern that this was winter. Just like that, just like Game of Thrones, winter is coming.
Right.
And I believe that a lot of times we have to begin to cultivate, because when it comes, it's going to go through seasons. When our relationship is at full bloom, know that the full bloom isn't going to last forever. We're going to go through seasons. But the one thing I love about it is this: regardless of the season, we still are going to produce fruit. But in order for us to produce that fruit, we got to keep cultivating it. We got to cut off what's dead. We got to begin to water. We got to begin to make sure that we keep the bugs off of it that can kill it from the inside. So, I look at it like this. You got to begin to have maintenance just for the little stuff. So that means date night. That might mean, date night might look like, okay, I'm getting a babysitter and we just going to go in a room, or we just going to get a hotel and we just going to, mix it up. Just the little stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, because I look at it like this. If you do the preventative now, you won't have no regrets later on, because it's the little stuff that turns into big stuff. It's the little spark that could burn down the whole forest if you don't deal with it.
I also, and I want to add to what you're saying, I think it's also to communicate that with your partner. Yeah. To say, you know what, babe, I woke up this morning and I feel different.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm falling out of love. I feel like I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know what this is, but this is how I'm feeling. And putting that on the table, because if you have an understanding partner, your partner is going to then further inquire, okay, what can I do to make this better? Or what can I do, especially with a man? I think it's different, like, for a man when you're being honest, because he's always looking for solutions. That's what I love about men. Yeah. I bring you my problem and he finds me a solution. And it's like, okay, here's the problem. Okay, what if you do this? What if you do that? How do you feel about us doing this? How do you feel? Because then it becomes a topic of discussion. So there's no, it's not like one day I just woke up and you didn't, we just didn't, we stopped talking, we stopped doing this, we stopped doing that. And it's like, if you would have said what you needed to say a year ago, that morning that you woke up and felt different, you wouldn't have that, you wouldn't have this problem. You would have this problem. You would have dealt with it a long time ago, but now it's built up into something that you've built a huge security around, and it was unnecessary. If you would have just said, hey, I woke up this morning, I felt different. The next day, I still feel different. I still feel different. And it's like, okay, What kind of affirmations? What can we do? Or is this just a me thing? You know what? I need to discuss this with my counselor. I need to figure out, do we need counseling together? Maybe we need to navigate through this and see, maybe something unconsciously triggered me and I don't even know it. Maybe there's something in my past and my history that has induced some type of trauma that's now coming into the surface 15 years later. And I didn't recognize it, that was even a trigger. Maybe that's it. But that's why I think professional help is so important, because it's going to allow you to conduct that full examination and be open to that. I like to see a relationship, like any relationship, whether it's whatever relationship, when someone feels it and when things are shifting, when things are changing, to be honest and to be able to say, because that's your teammate, right? And that's the coach, that's the assistant coach, that's the owner, right? And you play whatever roles you need to, or whatever concrete roles you discuss in your relationship for yourself, right? Because every relationship is different. So it's just being able to be honest with each other and being that team and being able to laugh and being able to smile and being able to cry. I remember the other day, literally this week, I was crying to my partner, and I was very honest, and I was like, I've lost so much in this process of becoming, and I'm just not sure. I'm questioning if it's worth it, and I was in tears, and when I didn't realize how hurt I was, and until I was speaking, and then I saw his face as I was speaking, how I was feeling and stuff, that I really, his face, he looked like it tore him up to see me like that, and it was but it was that reassurance. It was him being responsible to me. I was responsible for my feelings, but he was responsible to empowering me and telling me, no, this is all worth it. This is what it looks like right now, but it's not going to look like this for long.
Yeah.
Just keep going. And it's like having that person next to you that reassures you and that tells you that you can, because it could have easily switched. You always crying about something, it could have been that, but like you talked about earlier, having the patience for when your partner's shifting, and that's my journey that I'm going through, and it's I'm not seeing, and usually, it's whatever dynamics, because today's my stormy weather. I need you to be my umbrella. Exactly. I need you to be my covering today. Exactly. But he doesn't know to be my covering if I don't ask, if I don't tell.
Exactly.
And I was trying to hide it. I was trying to put my phone away from my face, because my skin is, peanut butter colors. So when I cry, my nose gets all red and my face starts, getting all blushy and stuff. So he's like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "Nothing." And he's like, "Tell me what's wrong, because your eyes are watery, your eyes are puffy, and your nose is red. I know this look." And then I had to break it down to him. And I didn't want to, because my ego was in the way, my pride was in the way, but I can admit that. Yeah. Right? It's understanding your flaws to be able to say, I know that I'm like this. I know I can admit this. I have an ego. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I don't, but it's okay, because I can manage it. You can't manage anything that you're in denial of.
I like that. That is so profound. That is so profound. But the one thing that I just want to say is that your work and your labor of love is not in vain. Because the one thing that I see with you is that, you're going to make it. I'm serious. You're going to make it all the way. It's going to be people who are going to come to you with tears in their eyes, hugging you, loving on you, because you were the spark that changed their mind. You were the spark that caused that heart change. You were the spark that caused that manifestation, that manifestation to come alive on the inside of them. So I just want to encourage you. I'm not going to lie. I love you as a person. And I love the work that you do. I love your words of affirmation. Because the one thing that I will say is that is what is needed for this time. We need prophetic people, creatives that will help people be delivered from the chains and the shackles from their mind and their emotions. The crazy thing that I see is that there are dreams that are locked away on the inside of people because they don't see the possibility.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing that I see with you is that you're taking the shroud, you're taking away you're taking away the scabs that are blinding them. And I call Belize, I call, Miss Pugh,
Mm-hmm.
I call you guys prophetic healers.
Wow. That's cute.
And that is what is needed, because our generation needs, women like you, teachers like you, coaches like you. And so I'm thankful for the work that you're doing. You're willing to, have conversations like this. You're willing to, answer the hard questions, and even peep the game on certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just want to say thank you.
Well, I appreciate you, and I just want to say I give all the praises to God, and I'm just glad that we're able to have this conversation and it's able to be heard, because I contemplate and I sit and it's a lot of work that's done, in the back, and I'm sure there's a lot of work that you do, that, in the back, even this podcast, that people don't see. They don't see the contacting that you have to do with other people in order to set it up. They don't see the cancellations. They don't see the production. They don't see the things that come after or before it. They only see the product. And, but there's a lot that goes into having that quality product. It takes, reaching out. It takes calling different numbers. It takes getting no. It takes being told, no, and then you finally get a yes. Like it takes all of that.
Exactly.
And that's just part of the journey. And the better that we can help each other, go through the journey together, the better that I believe and I feel that, it is. And it's all about the results. It's all about, the becoming results oriented, but still, focusing on that process.
Yeah.
I remember Kia said love on Instagram. So Kia and we were discussing one day process goals for our January challenge. Each month we go on live for a week, and we have like different topics we pick for that week. And in January was process goals. So it was like, sure, people want to lose that 20 pounds. So what's the process that you need to go through to get that goal? Let's focus on the process. Less on the goal, more on the process. Okay, I need to focus on being consistent. I need to focus on my discipline. I need to focus on being persistent. If I focus on being consistent 3 times, 4 times a week, then I'm sure that I'm going to meet my goal. Well, now that I got this 3-4 times down per week and I'm able to do it on automatic, okay, now let me switch up this. Now let me change this. Now let me do this. And it's that constant refinement. But I understand, like, if you want to change, just choose, 1 or 2 habits to change at a time. And then when you see the results of that one habit, okay, now we're going to put another habit in there. And like, as long as you're getting an atomic habit, in the book Atomic Habits, it talks about that 1% increase, that 1% change per day. So by the time you get to the end of the year, you're 365% better than where you started off January 1.
Exactly. I see that. I see it. Thank you. And that's the goal. The goal is progress.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I love about Will Smith's book, is that he was like, yo, no matter what, just lay 1 brick.
Mm.
I'm serious. And I think it's just, you got to get to the place where you're okay with seeing not big steps of progress, but consistent steps of progress, whether they be big or little. And I will say little, I look at it like this: better to have, 20 baby steps than to have just 1 big giant step.
Absolutely.
So I'm not gonna lie, I so appreciate you. So hey, let me I know you coming back tomorrow, and I know this is like
yes.
one of our discussion. So,
Yeah.
so how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, so people can get a hold of me on Instagram at Khadijah Tou Tou, which is KhadijahToutou. And they can also get in contact with me on Facebook as well, at Khadijah Tou Tou. And I'll usually respond to the inbox of either one. And just message me and I'll have a chit chat. Like I said, things are being built right now, so everything's quite busy in regards to consultations at the moment. But once everything gets rolling, I believe in March, mid-March, everything should be starting to be on the roll, and we'll start opening up some stuff. And yeah, so we're gonna see what happens and what goes down.
All right. Hey, can people follow you on TikTok?
Yes. So TikTok's the same as Instagram at Khadijah Tou Tou, so KhadijahToutou.
All right. I just want to say thank you for coming on. I can't wait till we dive into part 2 tomorrow, because I told the listeners, I was like, yo, this is going to be epic. And I got to give you some thunder on this one.
Hey.
Seriously, because you brought it today. I know you got a lot more in you, but I just want that bad boy to just marinate so that we can get on this piece tomorrow. And I just want to say thank you for the woman that you are, the gift that you are. Thank you for being phenomenally virtuous and great. And I thank you for your transparency.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And thank you for having such an amazing platform and for being, for seeking that out, because not a lot of the times you don't see a lot of, men give the woman the platform and ask questions like this. So I appreciate you even seeing enough value in me to be able to bring me an honor. It's an honor to be on your show.
Oh, hey, thank you. I so appreciate you. Let me give you some applause. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, Lord, I can't wait till this bad boy manifests and I can have a green room. I'll be having all types of chocolates and stuff like that. Go ahead, enjoy yourself in the green room, girl. We got you.
Yes. I'll be there.
Exactly. But hey, I just want to say thank you, and I look forward to tomorrow. You have yourself a blessed evening, all right?
Thank you. You too.
Okay. All right. I'll see you. All right.
Bye.
Peace. All right, guys. That was Miss Khadijah. So we are definitely coming back tomorrow. And I thank God for the questions as well as the answers that came forth today. Because the one thing that I want you guys to understand and know is that there are possibilities when it comes to love. You don't have to give up. If I could just say, stay there. You don't have to be exhausted. But you can find renewed strength in knowing that love is for you and you are for love. And that you can have the right relationship. You can have the right person. But the one thing that I will tell you, man, is that love requires work. Love requires balance. Love requires sacrifice. And so you have to ask yourself and be honest with yourself. Am I willing to change? Am I willing to change for myself? Am I willing to be accountable, responsible? Am I willing to be authentic? Am I willing to not operate out of my hurt, but operate out of my wholeness? So, man, I thank God for Miss Khadijah and the work that she is doing, because I know that it's going to be good. And I just want you guys to be blessed, because my thing is that what I want for you, I want for you to have successful relationships that have sustainability, because I'm tired of seeing people get together and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years later, they divorced when they had the potential to last longer than that. I understand that there are life problems. I understand that there are certain things that happen and that people change. But I look at the fact of the motivation and the meaning behind our vows. And so I want you to have success. I want you to last long, longer than the statistics. Because we as a people, we need to see love that sustains, love that remains, love that can stand the test of time. We're so used to looking at romantic films. But can we bring our life into a way where people can be inspired by it? Can our love inspire people that they can just say, you know what? I don't need to look at Netflix. I can just look at this couple right here. Because I seen them go through the stages of life and they still love each other. And that is what love is. That's what love is. Growing, enduring, being fruitful, covering, pleasuring. But love is about giving. So I want you guys to be blessed. Love Possibilities, Part 1.
Walk in the truth that makes you free every day. Follow Brother Leon on all social media outlets.